I came here searching for monasteries, for scriptures, for answers. But what met me was silence. A silence so vast, it unmade the self I thought I carried. It was not I who looked upon the land, but the land that looked back into me, and it was in that gaze that this journey began. In the middle of the vast brown steppe, where heaven and earth seemed to harmonize, I felt as if the sky and land were leaning toward each other, converging in a distant embrace. The horizon stretched endlessly, so far away it seemed unreachable, and yet it pulled me in like a quiet promise, a horizon not only of the land but of the self. Around me rose ragged cliffs, brown, dark brown, blue, and then darker shades of blue, blending into an endless, sun-bleached plain where even the sharpest eyes could not see the end. Only sand-colored mirages shimmered in the distance, wavering between reality and dream. It echoed the words of Nāgārjuna: all things are devoid of self-nature, like a dream, a mirage, a reflection, or an echo. Here, that unseen harmony arises not from structure, but from the union of appearance and emptiness, dancing between heat and shadow, silence and wind. The air here is thin, the sky impossibly high, a clear blue so deep and unbroken that it seems to have no bottom, no end. I can feel it, I can see it. That blue lingers in my mind long after I close my eyes. I wonder sometimes, is it my heart that is enchanted by the myth of Shangri-La, or am I staring directly at the nature of reality itself? As the Buddha taught in the Dhammapada, all phenomena are preceded by the mind, governed by the mind, made by the mind. Perhaps this is not a landscape I see, but one I remember. There is so much white here too, the white of the snow-capped mountains, glistening under a relentless sun, the white of the walls of humble houses, scattered like prayer beads across the land, the white of the kata scarf, offered with both hands as a gesture of welcome and blessing. And then the rows of white stupas, like silent sentinels, lining gates, fields, and barren stretches of land, each one a whisper of devotion etched against the sky. Their silence embodies the teaching from the Vimalakirti Nirdesha Sutra. True silence is the thunderous voice of the Dharma. Perhaps it is not the monasteries I seek, nor the silence of these so-called wastelands, but the thresholds they represent. Places where the illusions of permanence dissolve, and the self is quietly unmade. As Milarepa once said, when you dwell in solitude, the mind becomes clear like a mountain lake. In these forgotten spaces, where time has no urgency and the world feels half-remembered, something ancient stirs, a presence not built but remembered, as if the land itself is waiting to teach those willing to listen. Inside one such monastery, I stood in the main hall, my breath catching as I faced the walls covered with centuries-old paintings. Most of these murals are still intact, though time has softened their edges, blurring some lines into a gentle haze. I couldn't look away. My eyes followed the intricate lines again and again, each stroke a deliberate act of devotion. There are paintings here that occupy entire walls, vast expanses of color and symbolism. Yet within a space no larger than my hand, there are hundreds of tiny, unique strokes. So precise and meticulous they seem almost impossible. I remember the teaching of Longchenpa. Though phenomena appear vividly, they are insubstantial and empty. Mind's true nature is beyond elaboration. In their detail, I saw the mind tracing its own path through impermanence. As I traced the outlines of the paintings with my gaze, softly mumbling a mantra, something shifted. A subtle vibration seemed to spread through the stillness of the hall, and through me. I felt an inexplicable, high-pitched resonance, as if the air itself had begun to hum. Was it the sound of the mantra, or the echo of my own awareness? In the teachings on Shunyata, or emptiness, this is not a void, but an infinite openness, the womb of all arising. In that moment, I became less. I was filled with a reverence that felt both ancient and immediate. My sense of self seemed to dissolve into something beyond words, into a primordial stillness. I was no longer simply looking at the paintings. I was inside them, their colors and lines becoming the very landscape of my mind. The self that had entered the hall with questions had faded like incense smoke. I saw only the flying outlines of mystical syllables, as if the mantras themselves had taken shape and were floating before me. My thoughts were drawn toward a vast sea of light, a luminous expanse that seemed to permeate everything, carrying with it a sound that was more felt than heard. The Avatamsaka Sutra teaches, "In one particle of dust are countless worlds. In one moment of thought is infinite time. And in that moment, the many collapsed into one, and even that dissolved." Practitioners of this land have long known how to use art, pictures, murals, and sculpture to reveal truths too deep for ordinary words. In these colors and forms are the most secret scriptures and the most profound philosophies, whispered in a language that the heart understands even when the tongue cannot. Here, even silence teaches, even stillness sings. Here, on this land where heaven and earth seem to meet, I realized the silence of the steppe, the blueness of the sky, the white of the hata, and the brushstrokes on monastery walls are not separate things. They are all part of one great teaching, one vast living scripture that we walk through, grieve in, and slowly, reverently begin to understand. And as the Buddha said, with our thoughts we make the world. And here with this land, this sky, is silence. The world remakes us in return.
Thank you for walking with us. If it touched something within you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you ever wish to return, you're warmly welcome to subscribe. We'll be here, quietly waiting.